How's it going, fellas? Today we're going to be talking about immigration. It's been a hot minute that we haven't talked, but we're going to be talking about immigration today because it's a hot topic since Trump is in office. I am super pro deportation. I agree with what Trump wants to do because honestly, it's not safe. I mean, I've only been in the country for 2 years, but it's definitely sad that a lot of places in here are equally or more dangerous than in Honduras. It's honestly sad. It's not what you expect from a country like this. It's a country that has the power and that has the capabilities of solving this type of problems. And unfortunately, one of the things that we have to understand is that a lot of these crimes are done by immigrants. So that has to stop. That has to stop somehow. And these deportations that Trump has started, they aren't that much. Of course, that I think that the social media platforms are just making this content viral to share that propaganda that, oh, everyone is getting deported, so a lot of people are self-deporting, when in reality it's not as bad as they're making it out to be. In any case, I like what he's doing because they're focusing on people that have a criminal history, such as illegal arm possession or drug dealing or being part of a gang or sexual abuse, all this kind of things. These are people that I don't want to be with in the same country with, especially if they're coming from a country like mine, Honduras. Unfortunately, we have a lot of people that are Honduran and that have a terrible criminal history, and I don't want these people here because it's not safe. While I'm living here, my a lot of my family is living here, so I don't want individuals like that to be roaming the streets freely. And I definitely think that at the border has to be strengthened because this is just not acceptable. We cannot be accepting people unvetted. Unfortunately, this is the reality. So Trump had to put a stop to that, and I like what he's doing. So, then it comes the conundrum that a lot of honest, humble people are worried because they actually came here to work hard and to provide for their families and to add up to the economy. And it's sad because these are people that have been here for, I don't know, 8, 10 years, and they've never done anything wrong. And they work 6, 7 days a week for 12 hours a day. So these are people that don't want to harm anyone. But of course, them being illegals, it's unfortunate. But I don't agree with a lot of immigrants trying to protest or trying to make people feel bad because they knew the risk. They knew the risk coming here illegally. Everyone knows. So if you're coming here illegally, you know that there is the possibility of the police arresting you or the customs or whatever authority just taking a hold of you and deporting you back. You know that's a risk. And you put your family through those risks. Some people put their kids through that risk. And you have to know the consequences. And you can't expect people to feel sorry for you for a decision you fully took with all of your conscious capabilities. I also think that a lot of immigration from the past years has been absolutely terrible. A lot of benefits were given to these people, and these people weren't particularly helping anyone, right? Because a lot of people came here and the government would give them housing, free food, a lot of things for free, and they weren't particularly beneficial for society. And all that money came from taxpayers that actually, wake up, go to their shitty job and pay their taxes and hope for something big to come through their life. Never does. But it's that part is definitely sad. Imagine how you would feel if your money is being spent on people that are not helping your society, right? And I definitely feel for that because as a business owner, I pay taxes and I hate to live in a society that it's so broken and that all of these funds are going somewhere else and that are benefiting people that are not working as hard as I am working or working as much as other natives are are working. So, for example, I'm gonna show you right now some images of Los Angeles. There was a protest. There was an immigration protest that caused an entire freeway to shut down in Los Angeles because they were not happy about all this deportation stuff. Personally, I think this is dumb. Like, I mean, you are a guest in this country. If you're an illegal guest, like that's even worse. But just put yourself into just get into that perspective. Like you're a fucking guest in someone else's house and you're trying to impose your rules. We as immigrants, we have to understand that we have to come into this country and we have to adapt to them. They don't have to adapt to us because there's a reason they're not like us. If they would behave like the countries we are coming from, this country would be a shithole. So we don't want to live in a shithole. So it's definitely stupid to expect them to adapt to us. I definitely feel for for the Americans, for the North Americans. I don't expect for anyone to adapt to my traditions or to adapt to my way of living. It's the other way around. And unfortunately, a lot of immigrants come here and they don't even make the effort of learning the language. They just expect for everyone else to understand what they're saying, which it's fine. It's great to know two languages, English and Spanish, but you can't have that expectation for the natives of this country to learn your language. It has to be the other way around. And you at least have to make an effort. And these people are so entitled, man. Like it's crazy. I grew up thinking that North Americans were entitled as fuck and that they thought that the whole world owed them everything to them. But in reality, a lot of North Americans are super humble. They're super friendly and they're very warm and very welcoming. And a lot of immigrants, especially Latinos that come here, they're very, very entitled. And I mean, it doesn't make any sense, man. We have to put our feet on the ground. We really have to humble ourselves because we are guests in here and we're just pushing it too much. We're just abusing too much the our host's generosity, and it gets to a point like this where people like Trump and a lot of supporters they're just done with it. They don't want to tolerate any of this bullshit anymore because it's just not fair. So we just have to behave. That's basically it. We have to behave. I mean, it's fucked up. It's definitely fucked up because there's a lot of people like me that come into this country with good intentions, trying to make a good thing and not to harm anyone and to have a good time and to help whoever we want to help. But unfortunately, there's dudes like this motherfucker here that he's a whatever national and has this criminal history. And unfortunately, the majority of the people will pay for his sins because he was misbehaving here. And I cannot blame Americans for it. I would feel the same way if someone comes into my house, if a family comes into my house and one of the kids is breaking shit and insulting people and hurting people. It's just, I mean, it's just a reality, man. So that's those are my 2 cents. I could be completely wrong. I could just be talking out of my ass, but those are my 2 cents. That's my opinion. Of course, you're entitled to have your own opinion, but from my perspective, that's how I see it. It's very, very embarrassing that people that come from my country or that people that come from countries of my region or that are similar to my country are behaving in this way. It's just stupid. Honestly, I'm not trying to take the American side because there's another reality. Americans they don't want to work picking berries. They don't want to work picking oranges and strawberries, and they don't want to work in the field. And if they do, it's a very, very small minority. These are jobs that mostly immigrants do, and teenagers. There's a lot of people saying like, oh, all these jobs that the immigrants are leaving behind. They're gonna be filled out by by teenagers, by American teenagers, when in reality it's not. The motherfuckers are too busy trying to be streamers or trying to catch a pump on a crypto. So it's just not real that they're gonna take that shit. And I mean, there's stupid people in both sides. There has to be some type of balance. We have to make our part. We as immigrants, we have to behave better. We have to respect their country. We have to adhere to their rules and to their traditions and to their culture. Of course, in our house, if our house is full of our people, then behave however you like. But don't try to obligate other people to behave the way you're expecting to, because it's just not real. And of course, there's a lot of caveats because the US, it's a very multicultural country and there's no other place as tolerant as the US. So my overall attitude towards this is for us to be respectful, for us to be grateful by all of these opportunities that we're being given. So those are my 2 cents. Again, I could be talking shit, but these are my opinion. You can feel free to correct me, but thank you. Thank you very much for watching and listening. We'll see you in the next one.